All right, so we got some big news from CGC today. No, I am not talking about the video that I just put out recently where CGC announced a modification to their cases. I am talking about what, I mean, I don't over exaggerate it. This could be like the death of CBCS. I mean, no joke with this one. Let's check this out. All right. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So I'm sure I already have people madly typing in the comment section that I don't know what I'm talking about and that CBCS is better than CGC, all that kind of stuff. But if I'm saying that this could be like the death of CBCS, I feel like there's only one thing that comes to mind. That's the big differentiator between CGC grading and CBCS grading in comic books. And that big differentiator is verified signatures. And we just got an email today from CGC, and they have an announcement on their page under their news site that they will now be doing signature verification for comics and for cards. They may expand it to other areas as well. Now, I know there are other little differences between CGC and CBCS. Some people like the cases more. Some people like the labels more. CBCS doesn't have Newton rings. CGC does have Newton rings. You know, the cracking open of the slabs, CBCS seems to withhold or withstand tampering better than CGC. There are things there. But when you're talking to somebody that is like a CGC person, like someone who's generally submitting to CGC, the only time they will tell you that they might submit to CBCS is for signature verification. And what I'm talking about there is, I mean, it is a signature that was not witnessed by like a CGC facilitator, like a CGC witness facilitator. And so these are maybe books that were signed 30 years ago, 40 years ago, before CGC was even a thing, or even ones that were signed more recently, but did not have a facilitator there. These could be books that are currently in CGC green labels where they have the signature, you know, on the front, and they're like name written on cover, or so-and-so's name, like in parentheses written on cover, but a green label, or you have an interior signature. Now you could resubmit. You have that interior signature. Sounds like you can get potentially, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a gold label. They don't really say for sure there what the label color is going to be, but I'm assuming they're going to follow the same pathway as what CBCS did and use the same color label, but just say like verified instead of witnessed on there. But let's go check out this this announcement here, because here it is. We've got certified collectibles group to acquire James Spence authentication. And so you can see CGC and JSA will provide a seamless solution for autograph collectors to have their items authenticated, graded, and encapsulated by the world's top experts. Certified Collectibles Group, CCG, the leader in authenticating and grading collectibles, is excited to announce that it has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire James Spence Authentication, or JSA, the leader in autograph authentication. The combination of CCG and JSA will provide collectors and dealers with a seamless solution to have autographed collectibles authenticated, graded, and encapsulated by the world's top experts. And here we've got, you know, their you know, logos, that kind of stuff. Now, just it's kind of going through all the details here. I've got mission to CGC is empower collectors, you know, all this kind of stuff. But then it goes into JSA, because I'm not familiar with JSA. I'm not big into signatures, anything like that. So we'll say JSA was founded in 2005 by James Spence Jr., a giant in the world of autograph and memorabilia collecting. In the last 2 decades, JSA has certified millions of autographs, and in the process has built the world's largest autograph database of nearly 1 million images, encompassing virtually every known person from Thomas Jefferson to Taylor Swift. And I know that was put in there because of the Dazzler stuff. Like, I realize she's like super popular, but for CGC, like for comics and everything, like that is why Taylor Swift's name is there. It has to be. So if you've got your X-Men 130 signed by Taylor Swift, you know, as Dazzler, then you can get it authenticated now and get that gold, or probably gold label. It says Lou Gehrig to Little League Stars. JSA uses this extraordinary database alongside deep expertise and state-of-the-art equipment to maintain unparalleled accuracy in autograph authentication. In addition, JSA's experts frequent shows and interact closely with collectors, dealers, and auction houses, further defining the JSA name as being synonymous with trust and accessibility. Let's see. So then we've got here, CGC and JSA are the perfect match with a shared passion for collectibles, along with an unwavering commitment to expertise and integrity, said Stephen R. Eichenbaum, CEO of Certified Collectibles Group. I could not be more pleased with the addition of JSA and the Spences to the CG family, and I think collectors will love the simplicity and scope of our combined services. I mean, this is a big deal. Like, that is really that was like the last remaining differentiator between CGC and CBCS. I mean, yeah, like I said, there's the little things that, the little like things that where certain people will just always be a CBCS person or always be a CGC person. But this was one of the things where you had to go to CBCS to get this done. And now you don't. And so, I mean, I guarantee you this is going to take a huge chunk of CBCS business that was going there for signature verification. I mean, I have no question about it. I think that this is really I imagine that they're panicking a little bit over there right now with this announcement because it's a big deal. So the acquisition of JSA is CCG's answer to the countless collectors and dealers who have asked to have their autographed collectibles authenticated and then graded and encapsulated. Although CCG pioneered witnessed authentication of autographs through its popular CGC Signature Series service, it has never offered full authentication and grading services for collectibles with unwitnessed autographs. Now, I remember like a bunch of people were saying that CGC would never do this because their signature service brings in so much money, but I don't really see this as something separate. I mean, a lot of times this is generally going to be older books, and I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people are just going to be cracking books out of CBCS verified signature cases and sending them to CGC. I think that is going to be happening all over the place because of this. And hey, I mean, people that like CBCS, they may be, again, angrily typing in the comments and telling me I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm wrong with this. I think that there's going to be a influx of books that were CBCS verified going to CGC to get that whatever version of their verified signature label is going to be. So now we get into timelines, that kind of thing. In April, collectors of autographed comic books, magazines, sports cards, trading card games, so TCGs, and non-sports cards will benefit from seamless submission, a seamless submission experience where they can use a single online form to submit their collectibles for JSA autograph authentication and CGC grading and encapsulation. More services and enhancements will be announced in the months ahead. So then we get into the facts here, the FAQs. And so first one, when can I submit my comics and magazines with autographs for JSA authentication and CGC comics grading and encapsulation? And this is coming up quick. We expect to start accepting autographed comics and magazines for combined JSA and CGC certification in April. An announcement will be made when these services are available. And I have one book. I have a Batman 189 that's signed, and it wasn't witnessed. And I might try this out. I might try this one out right when we have this availability or this option available in April. I don't know if I want to wait to get it pressed and all that kind of stuff too. So I may just send it right in just to kind of see how this process works. But I have a book that's sitting, on my eBay store right now. That is a signed book by Joe Giella. And so I'll probably end up sending that one in. We'll see. I just kind of want to see how this whole process works out. Then when can I submit my cards with autographs for JSA authentication? And they're saying this one's going to start in April as well. Then what's the difference between JSA authentication and CGC signature series? We've already talked about this. One of them was witnessed. One of them wasn't. That's really what they're going into here. And that they're using this database that this company has built to verify these signatures. Then here, now they're talking about the green labels. What do I do with comics, magazines, and cards with autographs that have been encapsulated with a CGC qualified green label? If you're not familiar with that, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you had one that was like signed on the cover, they would hit your grade for that signature like somebody had written on the cover. If it was on the interior, they don't hit the grade. But with this, They're saying we'll offer a service for autographed collectibles that are already encapsulated in the CGC qualified grade green label to be recertified by JSA and CGC. An announcement will be made when the service is available. So there you go. I imagine those green labels will become a thing of the past, and you're going to have just the gold labels for that. Now, it doesn't mean green labels go away forever. There's other reasons for green labels, but the signature ones, this is going to take care of that. What do I do with comics, magazines, and cards that have already received a JSA letter of authenticity? And says they'll offer a service for those to be recertified and encapsulated by CGC. They do not have pricing yet. So it asks about pricing, and they said they'll announce pricing in April when they make these services available. I imagine it's going to be comparable to what CBCS is. I can't remember offhand what it is. I think it's like $25 a signature or something at CBCS. It was $25 or $35 a signature, somewhere in that area. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar, but I have no idea. We'll see when that comes out. And also, if you have a CGC membership, it looks like you're going to get those same discounts that they announced earlier this year. So associate and premium members will get a 10% discount if you do combined service, and elite members will get a 20% discount. And I imagine dealers will get a 25% discount. So again, you get your discounts apply to that as well. Now, there were some questions here about other types of collectibles. They said they're not going to be certifying those yet. Right now, they're just focusing on comics, magazines, and cards, but that doesn't mean they won't do it eventually in the future. I'm sure they eventually will. Then we've got questions here about shows. CGC and JSA are working to provide a combined show experience where collectors and dealers can seamlessly submit to CGC and JSA. So if you'd rather go into a show rather than ship it, you can use that. And then if you're international, they cover the different offices they have and which ones will accept what. You can come to this article and check it out if you want to get any more of the details that are in here. But yeah, I mean, this was like one of the last big things left that really differentiated CGC and CBCS. And I think CBCS they're really going to struggle with losing this. I mean, I don't know what percentage of their submissions come from signature series, but most people that are CGC submitters that like to use CGC, the only reason they'd send to CBCS is to get a signature verified. And now there's no reason to do that anymore. And so I think that this is going to be a pretty big game changer for CGC. It really is. And I don't know what CBCS is going to do to respond, but I think this is going to be a tough one to compete with. But let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Are you going to be cracking out some of your CBCS books that are verified signatures, or even witness signatures? If you'd rather have it in a CGC case, if you had a witnessed CBCS signature, would you send it to CGC for the verification? The green labels, if you've got raw books you've been waiting on, all that kind of stuff. Let me know. I've got more videos over here. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, subscription button is right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.